let me get something set up here. You guys are not ready for this. Ta-da! Hi! Hello! Should I be over here, or should I... Oh, you know what? This does not work very well. I need to be over here. I should make, like, another scene for, like, separately for reaction content. There we go. Forehead wrinkles cat. Yeah. Where am I gonna put the fucking cat? There we go. It's okay. I figure we just look at this video kind of as a warm-up. And then move on to the shit I wanted to cover today. There we go. Now it's looking good. Okay. You guys ready? Settled? Ready for a nice, juicy bit of drama? I am gonna be playing Arcade in the background, but you just can't see it. Also, oh, I just realized that the chat, there's like no room for anything, dude. We put it up here. The chat go up here. Damn it, I have like no place for chat. You can hang it up here with the cat. How about that?
Be fixed. This really needs to be fixed. As today, we're gonna go ahead and look over the VTuber by the name of Kenji, who recently tweeted out, in the past 24 hours, 5 of my YouTube videos have been falsely flagged and set to 18+ with limited ads. Stuff dating back more than 6 months ago. Am I getting mass reported? Appealing does nothing. I get rejected 5 minutes after I appeal with no explanation or reasons. And Kenji added YouTube to see if something could be done about this, because, well, there's no...
Oh, okay. Is this about the whole, limited restricted ads thing?
Real way for YouTubers to contact YouTube other than adding them on Twitter and making things public, which really sucks. Kenji went on saying, it feels discouraging knowing that the appeals mean nothing and the system feels broken.
I mean, that's
I don't
just
mind
YouTube
getting hit
for
with
you.
18+ or limited, but can I please get a timestamp, a reason, anything? At least tell me what I'm being flagged for. And well, YouTube actually responded to this saying, sorry to hear this, can you please share the video links in question and we'll see what we can find out. And they did state they lifted age restriction on 2 of their videos already. So Kenji ended up giving them the links to the videos that were affected and YouTube looked into it. They got back to Kenji yesterday with this though, saying, heard back from our team that the remaining vids will stay age restricted. This is because vids containing adult content and self-harm may not be appropriate for viewers under 18. Thanks so much for understanding. So
I mean, yeah, that's fair. This is because videos containing adult content and self-harm...
YouTube told Kenji the videos are going to stay age restricted even though they're...
In my opinion, it's better to go indie than with a corporation. You have more freedom to do whatever you want. Well, yeah, they own your content in a corporation.
There's nothing wrong with the videos according to Kenji and other people that have watched those videos. And mind you, there are 9 videos of Kenji's that were age restricted, gaining no traction at all, and gaining little to no money at all due to ad revenue being limited on the videos. Not only that though, but because the way YouTube's algorithm works, say Kenji uploaded one of these videos yesterday and the video got...
I mean, how many of these videos mention adult themes or like self-harm? That's the issue.
Age restricted, limited ads, and the video just did horrible. That means Kenji's next video is likely also going to underperform because the previous video underperformed, so YouTube's like, oh, people don't want to see your content, so we're just not going to push it to as many people as we normally would.
I love when pony videos with gore and such were getting the made for kids label and YouTube steadfastly wouldn't change. Well, I mean, yeah, YouTube has just always been inconsistent. So it's not exclusively like a VTuber problem or an LGBT problem. It's like all across the board kind of problem.
So it not only affects Kenji's video then, it affects Kenji's videos for like the next week or so. Kenji actually quote retweeted YouTube's response saying, quote, thanks so much for understanding, saying, okay, I'll go F myself. Then replying to his own tweet saying, I understand you have a problem that is just a TikTok video that says, what has Corey done? Showing a video that Corey X Kenshin has made and other creators on the platform making the same video and talking about that same situation. With VTuber simp Evanito replying to that saying they can't handle melanin. And now we're actually going to go ahead.
Are we gonna get into the whole YouTube equals racism debacle again? Okay. I don't know what the VTuber thing has to do with melanin. It's kind of hard to find the correlation there.
Go ahead and get into this entire topic because YouTube has a massive problem. We'll get into Twitch's problems later in the video though. But that brings us to Corey X Kenshin's video that is titled YouTube, Racism, and Favoritism. And now if you don't know who Corey X Kenshin is, they are a gaming creator that has 14 million subscribers. And the reason
I know who Corey Kenshin is because Sunny, the guy I used to edit for, made a fucking video clowning on him. And then his viewers, or Corey Kenshin's viewers, bit back a little bit.
Corey made this video is because he
downvoted
played
it
the
into
Mortuary
hell.
Assistant on his channel. And we've seen countless creators play this, we've seen VTubers playing it, but Corey's video got age restricted. He was wondering why. His YouTube assistant said it's probably because of the self-harm at the end of the game, but Corey went to many other creators like Markiplier, who has the same video up, but his video was not age restricted. So Corey emailed his YouTube partner manager and told him about that, and a YouTube partner manager is someone that you get to talk to at YouTube, but you have to have a certain amount of subscribers. Don't really know how you get one. I don't have one. That's another problem that YouTube has. You can't talk with anyone except for going on Twitter.
Well, you have to be one of their golden childs or golden children to be able to get special treatment from them.
Unless you get the YouTube partner manager, but no one really knows how to get a YouTube partner manager unless you have millions of subscribers or they reach out to you, I think. Anyways, Corey's partner manager went ahead and sent that over to the YouTube policy team, and the YouTube policy team came back to Corey and age restricted the video. Now,
Great, cool. So what's the problem?
now, most creators would have been happy with that and been like, thank God the video's on age restricted, but Corey was not. And for good reason, since YouTube already doubled down on their decision to keep the video age restricted, but after Corey went ahead and called out Markiplier's video, they decided to unage restrict the video and be like, oh, nothing's wrong with the video. Because Markiplier could never upload unfriendly content according to them. So this upset Corey a lot, and he went ahead and sent this to his YouTube partner manager, who then went ahead and sent it over to the YouTube policy team, which says this is actually pretty damning for them, and I'm inclined to believe racism and or favoritism.
I hate this argument. I really hate this argument. And you could say that I'm not allowed to comment on this because I'm white. But here's the way I see it, right? When a piece of content gets flagged like this, usually it has to be manually reviewed, unless there's some like special buzzwords in there or something. Usually for content like that, like a game that has like self-harm at the end or something, usually that has to be, you get a bunch of flags for it, like people just report it en masse or whatever, and then they have to send a manual reviewer. I think it's fair to still be upset because it shouldn't have happened in the first place, but the racism thing is circumstantial at best. Well, yeah, here's what I'm getting at. It's no secret that YouTube's system is like heavily like based in favoritism. But it's not race-based favoritism. That's just stupid and sensationalized, right? I mean, your complaints probably wouldn't get much traction unless you played the racism card, in my opinion, especially for something like this. But the way I see it is, like, your shit has to get manually reviewed, and the manual review process is like kind of based on the person doing it. They have like a set of guidelines to follow, like, you know, does this break terms of service, or does this break YouTube guidelines? Does this break YouTube guidelines? And then they kind of have to, each individual person has to use their judgment. So if a Markiplier video gets flagged, and then one manual reviewer takes a look at it, they can look at that and be like, oh, well, it's self-harm in the context of a video game, so I see nothing wrong here. But then a completely separate manual reviewer from a completely separate, like, perspective could look at Corey Kenshin's video and then be like, well, there is self-harm in it, so that should be age-restricted. And then they age-restrict the video. Two completely separate manual reviewers, looking at two separate videos and coming to different conclusions. That happens all the time. And so it is circumstantial at best. Because, yeah. So I don't think that's damning at all. And even more so when they reached out and said, like, well, Markiplier's video is not age restricted, and they responded by lifting the age restriction. I think that helps in their favor. I don't know if anybody remembers the situation with, like, Moist Critical and YouTube. I see your comments. I'll get to them in a second. I don't know if anybody remembers the situation with Markiplier, because the same thing happened, but just in there was a different result from it. So Markiplier had a reaction to a video where he watched a video of, like, this staged kind of like beat 'em up video. Like, a bunch of dudes in mascots got out of a van and, like, punched this guy, right? Or, like, just beat him up. It was all staged. Everybody was in on the joke. It just looked really funny. And his video was fine. But then a couple years later, Moist Critical reacts to the same video, and that gets age restricted. Or, you know, flagged. And Moist Critical went to YouTube and to the manual reviewers and was like, hey, this is like fake. It shouldn't be age restricted because it's not even real violence. And they doubled down in that case. And then when Markiplier himself, I think, came out and pointed out, hey, I have a video on the same thing and mine's not age restricted, they doubled down, or they tripled down, and then age restricted Markiplier's video. So it's like, and then everybody got outraged about that. And then I think they lifted the age restriction on both videos eventually, but it just kind of showed like, so now if YouTube doesn't double down on the age restriction decision, now it's evidence of racism. Like, it doesn't hold up to me. Let's see. Markiplier could never upload anything unsafe for kids. Meanwhile, he gets drunk in live streams. Well, I think he was being sarcastic when he said that. Meanwhile, he gets drunk in live streams, him building a penis in Minecraft. No, yeah, he was being sarcastic when he made that comment. Which is also wild how there isn't a system where the manual reviewer team doesn't have a sort of consensus system. Yeah, I don't know all the internals of it. I just know that they outsource a lot of that manual reviewing. So who knows? You don't even know who like is looking at your video and reviewing it and just following like bullet point guidelines, and they could be from a completely different culture and just decide like, this is fine, you know? That's nuts. Yeah, I don't know if you heard of that situation, but it was similar to this one, except in that one they tripled down instead of just lifting it. But now they're still getting mad, even though they did the right thing and lifted the age restriction when the discrepancy was pointed out. So to me, it doesn't hold much water, so far anyway.
Plays a part in this. So correct me if I'm wrong, but this is the situation. YouTube reversed the decision they doubled.
Correct me, the phrasing there was so bad. Correct me if I'm wrong, but this is a situation. Uh-huh. You don't say. It is a situation. Great observation there.
Down on yesterday after being presented by the Markiplier clip. I'm actually more surprised they reversed it rather than tripled down and just age restricted him too. This actually speaks volumes more. All the momentum of the first video has been voided for nothing now. As I mentioned earlier in the video, if a video is age restricted, it gets no traction and the video just tanks completely. He continued, before I drop an expose video tomorrow with the evidence has been presented to me, I'm hoping for some clarity that might make sense in a way to dissuade me from getting ready to stir the pot further. Can you inquire why they changed their mind and who made the decision to reinforce the age restriction yesterday, as well as their reasoning for doing so?
I feel like I just explained it. Like, manual reviewers are their own people. It's not just this homogenous conglomerate where all the manual reviewers have like a singular hive mind. You could say that, yeah, there should be some kind of consensus system, but then it makes the process take a lot longer, which is what YouTube's trying to avoid. Because then people would get upset at them for just not acting fast enough. So, I already went through why this isn't exactly damning evidence. You know, each manual reviewer is their own person with their own judgments, and the problem was brought to their attention, and then they fixed it. That's where the problem should have ended, really.
Also, why these incidents always...
I could grab an updated video on Niji if you want. You mean like Niji as in the company? Because... What update is there for that, like, specifically? No, see, if you collect the data on each decision, because they probably get recorded, you feed that into an algorithm, and you slowly root out deviations from the established consensus. I mean, yeah, but... I mean, it's not like I'm fully taking YouTube's side here. I know that they have their issues. I just don't think racism is one of them. At the moment, anyway. You know what I mean?
Always coincide with me trending #1 multiple days in a row. So again, if you don't know who Corey is only on the YouTube platform like 4 months out of the year. He takes a break 9 months of the year and only comes back and uploads for 4 months. And every time he comes back,
I have a thought on that, but I'll get to it in a second.
He ends up getting a video age restricted, not a video that he uploads that week, but a video from years ago gets age restricted because they just want to get him off trending, I would assume.
Okay, I have thoughts on that.
And that's what Corey is assuming as well, which makes absolutely no sense, and I believe that is...
I mean, yeah, it doesn't make any sense, but I'll say why in a second.
Why Corey believes there has to be racism involved in this. He continued saying, I felt treatment towards me from YouTube, especially when I've been #1 trending multiple days in a row.
Keep that in mind, though. Keep that in mind that he says that Corey Kenshin... I don't watch Corey Kenshin or know much about him, so I don't know how accurate this is. Okay, yeah. Okay, so I think I'm understanding why this happens more frequently to Corey Kenshin or somebody like Corey Kenshin more than it But yeah, keep in mind that he says that Corey Kenshin only uploads like during like certain times of the year. And then whenever he uploads, it's a bigger deal, I guess you could assume, right? Keep that in mind.
On multiple occasions has been negative in that my content is scrutinized heavier than a counterpart like Markiplier. This case proves exactly that, actually.
Why is his only comparison Markiplier? Like that's the only name he would be able to compare like to other YouTubers or try comparing to other creators of color, like other black creators. But he hasn't made any like correlation, or he hasn't tried, like he's only comparing his content to Markiplier's.
In his video monitored the moment he released it to check if it violated self-harm guidelines. I've had a suspicion my content gets targeted / suppressed, and YouTube will make any attempt they can to kill my channel momentum. In this case, more than anything that has happened so far proves that. While I would hope
yeah, just finishing off the remaining alcohol and snacks before I go home. Oh yeah, good idea. Although you could take some of those snacks with you on the airplane, that'd be fun. I think they allow for that, I'm not sure. I'm being inconvenienced, therefore it must be specifically targeted towards me or some arbitrary aspect. I can't stand minorities having the perpetual victim mindset. Well, here's what I'll say about that. It's not just minority groups, okay? There's a lot of people that have this victimhood mindset about them, and they're not, I wouldn't consider them to be in minority groups. I mean, there's a lot of like white groups that have that sort of victimhood mentality too. Or a lot of political groups or religious groups. I wouldn't say it's just minorities, or I wouldn't single them out, if you know what I'm trying to say. It's so different from the way my parents taught me when they are first generation. It's particularly annoying for me when it's minorities because I'm a minority, that's why. Victim mindset in general annoys me, sure. True with the critical race theory and stuff. VTuber moment? Yeah, pretty much. Okay, I think we're back on track now. But yeah, I have some things to say about this, but I'll let this wrap up real quick.
Nothing to do with it. How can it be proven 100% that it does not? And while I guess since this video my channel momentum, in this case, more than anything that has happened so far proves that. While I would hope race would have nothing to do with it, how can it be proven 100% that it does not? And while I guess
you mean it can't be unless you have some like internal statement from YouTube or some some like mission statement to be like, we must suppress other races that aren't white, you know? You can't prove that unless you have something like that.
Since this video was made and dropped, YouTube didn't get back to Corey at all about the issue. And for the rest of the video,
probably because they know it's not an issue about race.
Corey went ahead and talked about more of the favoritism and racism that takes place on the platform, with a lot of black creators getting their videos pushed down and not recommended as much as a white creator. Corey
does he go on to prove that, though? I mean, I'm not going to go and watch his video, but if anyone here has seen the video, does he actually prove that other black creators are getting their shit demonetized more often or suppressed more often? Or is it just that they're not as big as, like, giant monolith creators like Markiplier?
He also went on to state that he's never seen a creator get #1 trending on YouTube multiple days in a row, and then they are suddenly hit with a lot of age restrictions and community guideline strikes like he is. And
what? Okay, hold on. Let me back that up.
Corey also went on to state that he's never seen a creator get #1 trending on YouTube multiple days in a row, and then they are suddenly hit with a lot of age restrictions and community guideline strikes like he is.
Well, here's where I'm gonna state my thesis statement, or my theory, okay? And this is just a hypothesis on my end, right? Here's why I can come to the assumption that, yes, his content is getting flagged and possibly age-restricted more often than Markiplier's, but it's not because of racism. Let me explain. So he just mentioned earlier that Corey Kenshin's content happens less frequently in the year. Like maybe out of the 3 to 4 months of the year, that's when he uploads content. Whereas someone like Markiplier, as far as I know, not only has Markiplier been around for a very long time, but he also uploads very frequently. Like let's take a look at Markiplier's channel real quick. Yeah, 2 days ago, 7 days ago, 12 days ago, 2 weeks ago. He's uploading pretty frequently. I mean, back in the day, he and a lot of other gaming channels would upload like daily, or even maybe multiple times a day. So if we go to Corey, how do you spell his name? Corey Kenshin? How often does he upload? 4 months ago, 5 months ago, 6 months ago, 7 months ago, 8 months ago, 9, 10, 11, a year ago. You know, so he does not upload as often as Markiplier does, right? And Markiplier, I think, on average, I don't think most of his videos get on trending. I don't think so. Or at least they didn't used to. So let me think through this before I get distracted. Markiplier uploads more frequently, and his videos probably don't hit trending that much because he uploads more frequently. So people aren't as you know, when he uploads, people aren't as like invested or motivated to just immediately go check out his video because it's a very common thing. Like, it's still gonna be there tomorrow, or he's probably gonna upload tomorrow or in a couple days. However, when a creator like Corey Kenshin uploads, it's more of an event because it doesn't happen as often. And so that's probably why his stuff gets on the trending tab. And then when Corey Kenshin's content gets on the trending tab, it is seen by more people, and because of the infrequency of it, it attracts more attention, even from people who just want to fuck around. And so what if his videos just end up getting flagged with a lot more numbers than any daily or weekly content that Markiplier would put out? I think more people are incentivized to go and just like flag any one of Corey Kenshin's videos as opposed to just one of Markiplier's videos. Whether it's because Corey Kenshin is more controversial or because he draws more attention to himself, who knows? And then that incentivizes manual reviewers to look at his content more. And again, you have that subjective factor in there. So there's a lot of reasons other than racism that can explain this. So for him to default immediately to racism is just, in my opinion, it's unreasonable. And I think it's meant to be that, well, not meant to be that way, but in a way, it just sort of becomes that way. All right, sorry, let me catch up with the comments here. You cannot prove that without doing extensive research over several years. Yeah, without like audits, you know, internal investigations, third-party investigations, all that sort of stuff. How do you rule out bias and such? You really can't. Unless you have, like, positive statements from them. And when I say positive, I mean, like, statements that exist, not just, you know, thoughts or assumptions. Imagine blaming... Wait, Cap? Like, YouTube constantly does promotions for POC creators. Yeah, exactly. Or the LGBT crowd and stuff. Imagine blaming all your shortcomings on nebulous and difficult. I wouldn't even say it's a shortcoming. I think it's just unfortunate circumstance. The problem is that he's comparing himself to a YouTuber who's not in the same caliber as him at all. Bring back colorblindness? I wish. I doubt Markiplier knows what a VTuber is, to be honest. Nor is he a VTuber. Well, I think this main thing is coming from Corey Kenshin. Corey Kenshin's not a VTuber as far as I know. Unless he considers himself one, I guess. But I guess what this guy is trying to do is he's trying to incorporate this into like VTuber drama somehow. I don't know. Cause like the VTuber guy, Kenji? He mentioned that his stuff was like getting age restricted more often, but shouldn't that be like a counter? Shouldn't that sort of almost disprove Corey Kenshin's assumption that it's based on racism? Because if it's happening to other non-black creators, then it's probably not targeted. Like, it's just incompetence on YouTube's end or negligence. It's not a racism problem.
And he feels like it is because YouTube does not want a black man on the top of trending for...
That is purely speculative and just based on your own feelings. There's no possible way you could prove that unless they've made some kind of statement saying such.
For multiple days in a row. And based on all of
or unless you could just provide a shit ton of data to prove your side, which they really don't have.
The evidence that we've seen, that is probably what is actually going
on. Oh, Kenji is black? Ah. The avatar is just a light-skinned anime boy. Still, how many YouTube reviewers look at the VTuber model and then be like, I assume that the creator behind it is black. We should age restrict and demonetize his channel. And rubbing their hands together like evil villains. Like, they're not doing that.
Going on, and it sucks. And that's how a lot of people making videos.
Though commentary drama is different to regular gaming content, I think it's especially unreasonable and unfair knowing the weight that calling somebody racist is. I mean, that's why they do it, because it holds more weight. Like I said, this probably wouldn't pick up traction if there wasn't, like, if they didn't levy racism against them as an accusation.
Videos on this and talking about it on Twitter, and it was even trending on Twitter. But we also had one of YouTube's biggest
Well, yeah, of course Jacksepticeye has to mention it, or else people will accuse him of being racist.
gaming creators Jacksepticeye making a video on this as well. And he basically just agrees with everything that Corey said, and it just doesn't add up at all.
Well, yeah, I mean, he's kind of contradicting himself with that statement, but yeah, of course he has to agree with Corey Kenshin. Again, because otherwise he'll look racist if he doesn't just agree. I'm sure he actually agrees, because I mean, I can't read his mind, but yeah, I mean, of course. He doesn't want to look like a racist person, you know? It's just a lot.
He also gives some insight on his side of the story with basically being one of YouTube's favorite creators, since his girlfriend plays a lot of the same games he does, but her channel gets age restricted and his doesn't, until a few days later when it's brought to their attention.
Probably because it's Jacksepticeye's girlfriend, and a lot of angry stans will go there and false flag her videos because they're jealous and obsessed. Jacksepticeye has a lot of obsessed stans that are probably mad that they're not Jacksepticeye's girlfriend or boyfriend.
Which makes absolutely no sense why his
That doesn't mean it's a YouTube problem. Maybe your fan base is just a little fucking crazy.
channel is allowed to not get age restricted for something that should be age restricted, while a smaller channel gets age restricted and has all of their growth gone. And
so then doesn't that mean that this is a small channel issue, not a race issue? Again, they're just muddying the water and just like totally confusing it. It's weird because statistically, AI computers algorithm tend to be pretty unintentionally racist. I mean, yeah, I mean, that just kind of, it's funny how that happens. Wasn't there that whole thing with, what was it, that Seinfeld clone thing? It was starting to say, like, transphobic stuff, and so they had to pull the plug on it. Yeah, it's just crazy stuff like that. There is a problem. I just don't think it's because any group of people is, like, sitting there and being like, we should be racist today. We don't want black people on the platform. Like, I don't think anyone's consciously saying that. And I don't think it's, like, some kind of systematic racism. It's not as big of a conspiracy as they want to make it seem like it is. That's just my take on it.
And that just proves that YouTube plays favorites. Now,
well, yeah, of course YouTube plays favorites. It's no secret that YouTube plays favorites. They have so many cash cows that they will favor over everybody else. And like, I mean, if the Sniper Wolf drama is anything to go by, obviously YouTube has their favorites. Because they let people like Sniper Wolf get away with shit that they would never let a smaller creator get away with. Why? Because they make YouTube a shit ton of money. My fucking avatar blew up just then. They make YouTube a shit ton of money. That's why they have favoritism. It's not because of their race or their gender or their, like, sexual identity. Nothing like that. It's just that they favor the people that make them the most money. Yeah, I don't know too much about the Seinfeld thing either. I was invested in that for a couple of days. It was funny. I enjoyed it. I'm sad it's gone. Yeah, police AI were being accidentally racist. Yeah. Although, I think MatPat did do a video where he proved it wasn't a race issue. Because it's just purely, like, confirmation bias at some point. I don't know.
all of these videos are going to be linked in the description. You should definitely go check them out. I don't do them justice in just explaining to you what they're...
Is the AI being racist, though, or just the stats like that? Say, for example, more people click on a video with a white person on it than a black person. I guess, but there's a lot of other factors that go into it. If you took both of those people and put them on equal footing, each one had the same amount of subscribers in the same fan base, you know, on the same platform with the same visibility, like side by side to each other, you have to understand like all of the other circumstances that go into it. Even just one being on the left side and one being on the right side of your peripheral, of your vision, can play a factor into it. The colors that are chosen for like thumbnails can play a factor into it. You know, there's a lot of other factors except like besides the skin color. Divisions of every other category are mere distraction from the true fight of rich versus poor. I mean, usually what people mistake for a race or identity issue is actually more of a class issue in real life. Like, if you have a lot of money, you can get away with literally anything and it has nothing to do with your race. Nah, you're good.
they're talking about. It's a very big issue, and I would love for you to go check them out yourself.
It's really not that big of an issue. At most, you could say YouTube just needs to be more transparent with their creators and stop playing favorites so hard.
If you have the time. But if you want some more proof into favoritism playing a part in this, we had Markiplier uploading a video a day later saying try not to get age restricted challenge. And in this video, he's essentially playing a porn game on YouTube. Even though it is censored, it should still get removed off of YouTube.
Yeah, because Markiplier makes them a shit ton of money.
As per their community guidelines. It's not. It has 2.4 million views. I think that's all the proof you really need that YouTube plays favorite.
What is age? I mean, age restriction, all it does is really, like, it suppresses your search capabilities, right? Age restriction, like, if you're not logged in to your YouTube account, you can't watch it. And if you're, like, under the age of 18, you can't watch it, right? Or under, like, some age. I don't know all the ins and outs of being age restricted. I know it kind of suppresses your content a little bit, which I don't think it should necessarily, because if it's about protecting children, it shouldn't be, like, suppressed on just regular search engines that have nothing to do with kids. Tiger mommy, though? In my opinion, a lot of people don't want to point the finger at capitalism. Like, it sounded as if the Unabomber's issue with tech had more to do with capitalism, but because he hates leftists, he didn't want to say that. Well, the Unabomber's problem is that he just hated people in general. I think he was just a misanthrope and just needed to find some, like, rationality for it. I see somebody watch the Wendigoon video.
As of right now, YouTube has not responded to this at all, and I can definitely see them never responding to it and just sweeping it under
yeah, because it's not a race issue.
The rug. Which is super unfortunate, as a lot of us would love to see them making changes, but a big corporation making changes, yeah, good luck.
Yeah, I mean, you got a point there.
Corey did state in his video that if YouTube comes out and proves that race does not play a part in this and favoritism does not play a part in this, then he will apologize and admit that he was wrong.
So he's basically asking YouTube to do the impossible. He's asking YouTube to prove a negative. He's asking YouTube to prove that there isn't an issue. Like, imagine if you accuse somebody of stealing. Or no, that's a bad example, because if they physically don't have the item, then it's not stealing. But if you accuse somebody of, let's say, murder, I guess, the burden of proof is on the accuser and not the defender. You have to prove that they killed the person or have enough substantial evidence. It's not then the burden of the person on the defense to try and prove their innocence. It's only after you come up with the evidence is when they have to defend themselves or rationalize it or explain it. He's basically asking YouTube to do the impossible. Here's a better example. When Amazon sends you a package and then you don't receive it, and then you send in a support ticket saying, I didn't receive my package, and then Amazon's like, okay, well, can you prove to us that the package didn't get delivered to your house? It's like, what do you want them to do? Just take a picture of their porch and be like, ta-da, there's nothing here? Like, how do you prove something is not there or was never there? You know? He's asking you, like, he's the one that has to prove that YouTube is racist. It's not YouTube's responsibility to prove that they're not racist if you haven't provided any substantial evidence. Like, stop complaining about how bad at the game you are and get good, I guess.
Hopefully they do.
There's some aspect of that in
about
there.
That entire situation, as we're also going to tackle some issues
Some people are just unlucky, I guess.
that Twitch has. With this tweet here from Dexerto saying, if you're going to try to bang while streaming, make sure there isn't a reflection. And I can't show this video here, it's going to be blurred. But yeah, this streamer was having sex on stream, and well, they only got banned for 7 days for doing it. Thus bringing us over to a YouTuber and streamer by the name of Gideon. If you don't know who Gideon is, they upload a bunch of prank videos, funny videos, great content, but they also streamed on Twitch at one point until they were banned for essentially hate rating Pokimane while she was live by telling his chat to go post L+ ratio in her chat, which led to Pokimane getting harassed further, people calling her names, and him getting banned on Twitch.
Which is reasonable. I think you should get banned for targeted harassment.
Which Gideon basically made fun of Pokimane for 2 weeks until eventually making a video with her and making up. He still didn't get unbanned on Twitch, and they have since never spoken to Gideon about it. So Gideon went ahead and tweeted out, a girl gets fucked on stream, 7-day ban while I'm still here permaban. Twitch is racist.
Oh my god. Okay. Someone accidentally showing sex. I assume it's accident, right? Who did the fucking? Who did the fucking again?
7 days for doing it. saying if you're going to try to bang while streaming, make sure there isn't a reflection. And I can't show this video here, it's going to be blurred. Yeah, this streamer was having sex on stream and...
Oh god, are we gonna have to look it up? Female Twitch streamer banned for a week for sex act. Well, here's the article. After she was caught trying to have stealthy sex during a live broadcast, the access to her account has been restored after 7 days. Okay. Let me look into this for a second. Caught having sexual relations while she responded to her chatters. So they were trying to do it. It's not like they were having, like... It's not like they were raw dogging it in front of the camera. They were trying to do it in secret. She just couldn't keep it in her pants, I guess. So, there's already an unfair comparison going on. Accidentally showing sex on your stream is different from blatant, targeted harassment to another creator. Those are two completely different things. So, makes sense that he would get banned for doing it. And then it didn't seem like after the ban he was very remorseful about it. Because he says that Gideon went for like 2 weeks continuing to harass her until finally like kowtowing and apologizing. And then I guess he expected, well, we made up for it, so unban me please. Unban me. It was an oopsie. Unban me. But no, it doesn't work like that. You still consciously chose to do that. So if Twitch doesn't want to reinstate your account, they don't fucking have to. They're not, the two things aren't comparable at all. Also, Pokimane is one of Twitch's biggest moneymakers. So even if they made up behind the scenes, Twitch is probably still going to be pretty mad about that. A lot of, like, it's clear that they play favoritism as well. I can imagine a lot of Twitch staff love Pokimane. So, good luck. It's not a race thing. The fact that they default to race, like, so quickly, it's annoying. Like, there's no other way to describe it. It's annoying. Because you know that if you really look at it, if you take the time to actually examine the problem, it's not race at all. Because the two circumstances are completely different. So this is a shitty comparison.
And, well, they only got banned for 7 days for talking to Gideon about it. So Gideon went ahead and tweeted out, a girl gets fucked on stream, 7-day ban.
Yeah, I think it was accidental or caught. I mean, Dextero said it was like caught in the reflection of a mirror. That's how it happened. And it seems like for the most part it was unintentional. It's kind of ridiculous, to be honest. Yeah.
And while I'm still here permaban, Twitch is racist, saying Twitch support can't ignore this. And after tweeting that out and some other things, he said, please watch #TwitchRespond. And it's a video titled Twitch Sexist and Favoritism. And in this video, Gideon basically goes over how he was banned on Twitch forever, even though he got things resolved with Pokimane personally, and Twitch is...
Doesn't matter. You can resolve things, like... I'm trying to find a good analogy for this. Like, you still violated the guidelines. Doesn't matter if you came around to making up for it later. You still did the thing that got you banned. It's like when a cheater is caught cheating in a game and they get their account banned, but then later they're like, I'm sorry I did that. No, sorry, your account's still banned.
Never responded to him, but the girl's able to have sex on stream and only gets banned for 7 days. He then goes into...
Because it wasn't an intentional thing. It sounded like it was more of like a accidental situation. Him harassing, like sending people to harass Pokimane wasn't accidental.
How many other female creators are able to do many worse things than him on Twitch and get banned for 3 days, 7 days, a month, but he stays...
Yeah, there's a valid point there, right? I feel like female creators do get some more favoritism on Twitch. Not small creators, though. We can go fuck ourselves. But female creators, they get special treatment, like, without a doubt. They can do all sorts of things. Hot tub streams, body painting streams that, like, have very clear sexual undertones. You know, they can throw their cats over their shoulder across the room and not get any repercussions for that. There is definitely favoritism. Gideon's is just not an example of that.
Stays banned forever.
That's
and he also brings up the fact that a lot of other male creators get banned for similar things like him, or they get banned for absolutely no reason, and they get banned forever, or they get banned for a month or longer than these girls do. And this has been a problem on Twitch forever. Twitch has been very inconsistent with their bans for years.
Like, I know Twitch has been inconsistent with that. It's just not a race thing. It's not a racist thing. You could argue that there is a factor of sexism in there, because there's a lot of circumstantial evidence to kind of back that up. Like, I remember a specific instance where two creators kind of got banned around the same, well, not even, but two creators got in hot water about similar things. It sounds a bit weird to want to live stream yourself having sex in the first place. I don't know much about the situation, but from the way they made it sound like, I mean, people have weird kinks, for sure. And there have been other creators, like I remember that, there was somebody doing an IRL stream. This was a guy creator, by the way. I think he got caught getting, like, a secret hand job while streaming. I know DSP, decided to twiddle the stick a little bit while he was live. I think that was a publicity stunt. I don't think that was an accident. Because he immediately leaned into it. Yep. You're thinking of, God, I can't remember her, Alinity? Yeah, she threw her cat across the room, and she fed it vodka, like an obscene amount for a cat, and was just not treating her cat well. And Twitch didn't have a single issue with that. But then some male creator accidentally showed like a Hitler Roblox skin on their screen, and that got him like permabanned, I'm pretty sure. Like, so there are instances of favoritism. It's just that this is not an example of that.
Years now. In this video, though, Gideon does show something very, very interesting, which is a DM from a very reliable source that states that Twitch had contacted Twitter to remove their name from the trending tab so that they don't have to respond to this and so that it doesn't get bigger than it already is. So Twitch essentially refuses to respond to any of this.
Wait, what?
Inconsistent with their bans for years now. In this video, though, Gideon does show something very, very interesting, which is—
You show something very, very interesting in this video. Really?
For years now.
Let's pay attention.
Though, Gideon does show something very, very interesting, which is a DM from a very reliable source that states that Twitch had contacted Twitter to remove their name from the trending tab so that they don't have to respond to this and so that it doesn't get bigger than it already is.
Are you sure about that, Khyo? Khyo? Are you sure about that? Look at this. There's no names on this. What is, can you guys see this? What is this? What is this Twitter DM? This is proof? Okay, let me read this in case you guys can't read it. It's an anonymous tweet DM, or anonymous Twitter DM from somebody. It doesn't show who. It doesn't even show what day. All we have, like, the only identifiable information we have is that it happened at 1:01 a.m. That's it. But it's just somebody saying, quote, "I heard from a reliable source that Twitch contacted Twitter to remove their name from the trending tab about an hour after Gideon tweeted. But don't leak that I told you that, lol. I'm not trying to get in trouble with Twitter or Twitch. I won't." But this is evidence? Evidence of... This isn't even, like, evidence from the supposed reliable source. This is somebody talking about the reliable source. This is hearsay at best. So what does he say about this?
From a very reliable source that does show something very, very interesting, which is a DM from a very reliable source.
This isn't even the reliable source in question. This is just someone talking about the reliable source that we don't even know about.
That states that Twitch had contacted Twitter to remove their name from the trending tab so that they don't have to respond to this and so that it doesn't get bigger than it already is. So Twitch essentially refuses to respond to any of this. Now,
that's what you took away from this? It was a complete nothing burger. Oof, Honey works so hard for his journalistic integrity. I can tell you really stretched those commentary muscles on this one, dude. I can't believe anyone would take this like this at face value. That's hilarious. That's funny. Come on, dude. That's your takeaway from this? Oh, that's... It gets funnier the longer I think about it.
Now again, I will say the same for Gideon's video as I said for the other ones. I don't do it justice in just explaining the video. I would love for you, if you have time...
Oh, no, you did it enough justice.
...to go ahead and watch the full video yourself and get a grasp on the full situation. But...
Which you clearly didn't, so we're done with this video. Well, that was interesting, wasn't it? I think we've had a pretty good workout. All right,